Peter Gago, Chief Winemaker at Penfolds, Steve Lehner, Senior Red Winemaker. We're here at Magill Estate and I have in my hand a Magill Estate 2008 Shiraz. Now, what's so special about this particular wine?
Well, the 2008 was picked here at Magill a good month before the heat wave of 2008, which has been much talked about, even started. But to put things into context, yes, here we are at Magill Estate. We're underground. We're beneath most of the winery above. And, well, where is Magill? It's only a 15-minute drive out of the city centre of Adelaide. It's in the foothills of the Adelaide Hills. And we have out the front a 5.2 hectare vineyard, 12.5 acres of Shiraz vines.
And we are literally in the suburbs, aren't we? There's houses and housing estates all around us.
Completely surrounded. And Steve, 100% Shiraz out the front.
It's 100% Shiraz, not the original plantings from the early 1900s or even older, but now, as Peter mentioned, 5.2 hectares of 3 separate little blocks, all comprising vines of up to 60 years of age.
And this is a single vineyard Shiraz, isn't it?
Made 100% grown here at the estate.
Now, it's pretty special as far as Penfolds is concerned from that point of view.
Well, it is in a way, you know, although it's not strictly the case, we are probably better known for our blends.
Yes.
And when we make a Block 42 Cabernet, or every year when we make Magill Estate, we are offering an expression of a single vineyard. If we wanted to, we could use terms like terroir and sense of place. And those grapes are picked, some of them barely move 50 metres into open fermenters. They're fermented into a basket press.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, they might then move 10 metres to the barrels whereupon they complete fermentation. So everything is done in a very close proximity to where those grapes are grown.
So it's all done here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you mentioned barrel fermentation. What's the percentage of American versus French, new versus old oak that's used?
Well, in the early days, Steve, I'll talk about the early days and Steve can tell you how things have changed a bit. We deliberately made this wine a little bit different and it went into 50% new French, 50% new American.
Right.
The amount of new oak varied year to year. In some years, like 98, it was 100% new oak. But Steve, that's changed a bit of late.
It has changed a little bit. Now we've moved over where the majority of the oak used for Magill is French oak. Usually around 65 to 70% French oak hogsheads, with the balance being in new American oak hogsheads.
Now, hogsheads is the size of barrel, isn't it?
It's these here,
These ones,
300 litre
litres.
barrels. So each one of these barrels, for people to sort of make sense of it, holds 300 litres of the equivalent of 400 bottles.
Okay. Now, that I'm assuming makes it a special wine. What would you say the characteristics of the 2008 Magill Estate are?
Yeah, it certainly shows great fruit concentration. Fruit's a lot different to some other vineyards around South Australia, certainly Barossa and McLaren Vale. There's a little bit more spice and a little bit more pepper in a cooler year, but it's got really nice fruit concentration, really nice subtle oak, but a beautiful wine.
Yes. The oak does contribute a little, and to Steve's point, a little bit of that soy, a little bit of cola, less florals in 2008 than what we've seen in other years, but there's very much Magill character. This is a wine of this vineyard.
So you've compared it with other Magills. What about if we compared it to, say, other or different Barossa Shirazes or Saint Henri as an example?
Yeah. Well, do you know, we put on tastings quite regularly of Bin 28, you know, a blended Shiraz, of Saint Henri, a non-oaked Shiraz. Well, it's matured in old vats, as we discussed. And then we'll compare it with RWT, French oak only. And it's not so much even how do they vary in flavour, it's the whole experience. You know, the types of tannins, the voluptuousness, the unctuousness versus the definitive sort. You know, they're all so different. So it's not just a flavour difference, it's not just a structural difference. These are very separate and diverse styles.
Well, you've been talking about all of these wonderful characteristics that makes me want to try it, but how long do I have to be patient for? Can I try it now or should I be cellaring this?
Well, again, with all of these, you have that choice. Drink now as a younger wine if you want power, vivacity and primary fruits. Or, gee, you know, we're drinking 98s at the moment, which are looking stunning and still marching upwards. So, but with that particular one, 2008, there is no hurry. No hurry whatsoever.
I could add 12 years and do 2020, or even beyond that. By the sounds of it.
Probably.
Yeah, put it in a cool spot for a few years.
Well, I'm hearing your description, and all I want to do is to try to actually experience some of these things. But it is special in the sense that it is a single vineyard wine. It comes from where we are, with all of the heritage that this estate has, and I suppose the heritage that the wine carries with it.
Absolutely. 166 years worth of heritage here at Penfolds Magill Estate.
That's fantastic, and we're really pleased to be here. Thanks very much again, gentlemen, and thank you again for bringing Magill Estate 2008 vintage into market. Pleasure.
Thank you.